Have you ever felt like there's an invisible hand holding you back from what you truly want? You work hard, but deep down, a voice says, "You don't deserve this." Here's the truth. That's not your voice, it's your father's shadow living inside you. Today, I'll show you exactly how this works and give you 2 powerful exercises to break free. Grab a notebook, let's go deeper. Imagine a boy watching his exhausted father come home, hearing, "Life is hard, don't get your hopes up. People like us don't do that." The boy doesn't just hear these words, he absorbs them. Years later, he's a man facing an opportunity, and suddenly that voice appears, "Don't get your hopes up." This is the father's shadow. Jung discovered we don't just inherit DNA. We inherit unconscious patterns, fears, and limitations. These become complexes, autonomous parts of our psyche that make decisions without our permission. The father complex shows up 2 ways. The critical father, the voice saying, "You're not good enough, play it safe, don't try." This carries your father's unresolved fears. The absent father, even if physically present but emotionally unavailable, you internalized, "I'm not worthy of attention or support." Here's the problem. You can't fight what you can't see. The shadow disguises itself as common sense or being realistic. You think you're making these choices, but you're following a script written decades ago. Jung said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." Let's make it conscious. This is the most powerful technique Jung used with patients. Create 2 columns, draw a line down your page. Left side, father's voice. Right side, my voice. Think of a recent moment you held yourself back, a job you didn't apply for, a boundary you didn't set, a dream you dismissed. Let the shadow speak on the left. Write what the father's shadow says. Don't censor it. Write in first person. You're not qualified for that. People like us don't do things like that. Who do you think you are? Let it be harsh. You're bringing the unconscious into light. Respond with curiosity. Right side, respond. But don't argue. Ask questions. Why are you so afraid of me succeeding? What are you trying to protect me from? When did you learn ambition was dangerous? Continue the conversation. Go back and forth 5 to 6 times. Let it become a real dialogue. Something fascinating happens around the 4th exchange. The shadow's tone changes. It becomes vulnerable. You see the fear underneath the criticism. You might even feel compassion. End by asking, "What do you need from me?" Often, the shadow just wants to be heard. It's been trying to protect you the only way it knows, by keeping you small and safe. Once acknowledged, it relaxes its grip. Write whatever comes up. Second exercise. The permission letter. This addresses the core wound. Feeling you don't deserve your own life. Jung noticed people carry the unlived life of the father. Unconsciously, you might feel that succeeding where he failed means betraying him. This creates a loyalty conflict you can't see. Write from the father you needed. Write a letter from your father to you. Not the one you had, the one you needed. The father who was emotionally available and wanted you to thrive. Start, "Dear, your name, I want you to know." Give yourself permission to surpass him. Choose a different path. Be happy even if he wasn't. Succeed without guilt. Have what he couldn't have. Be specific to your situation. Maybe you need permission to rest when he worshipped work, to be creative when he valued only money, to be vulnerable when he demanded strength. Write half a page minimum. Notice resistance. When do you want to stop? When does it feel fake? That resistance shows where the complex is strongest, where you've most deeply internalized unworthiness. push through anyway. When you are done with the letter, read it aloud. Let yourself hear these words in your own voice. The unconscious doesn't distinguish well between imagined and real. You're rewiring the neural pathways. You're giving yourself what you needed. End with, based on this permission, this week I will make it concrete. Not someday, but this week. This moves symbolic work into real behavior change. Jung understood the goal isn't eliminating the father's influence, it's having a conscious relationship with it. After these exercises, you'll notice something. The father's voice doesn't disappear, but it changes quality. Instead of an automatic command, it becomes information you can consider. You can hear the warning without obeying it. This is integration. Shadow work takes practice. You'll do these exercises, feel clarity, then old patterns return. That's normal, but each time you strengthen consciousness. The shadow loses its autonomous power. You start living your own life. Jung wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are, not who your father wanted, not defined by opposition to him, your actual life. The father's shadow has kept you from this privilege. Now you have the tools to reclaim it. Start with one exercise this week. Be patient, be curious. You deserve your own life, not because you've earned it, but because it's yours. It always has been.